Are we on? Are we recording? We're recording, we're going for it. Hello people and welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be my summer gear loadout. Everything I need for a summer's wild camping is in here. So let's take a look, let's get into it. So before we get into it, I just want to say that everything in this rucksack has been bought and paid for by me, or it's been a Christmas present, or it has been a birthday present, or whatever present. All the brands that are in here I'm not affiliated to, I'm not sponsored by. To be honest, I wish I was, because the price of stuff is just ridiculous. But sadly I'm not one of those YouTubers that gets sent stuff for free to try out. I'm not recommending any of this stuff. It may work for me, but it may not work for you, and vice versa. If there's anything in the rucksack that you like and you think that could work for you, please do your own research on it and make sure it is for you before you spend your money. Some of the items will be discontinued now because I've had them for quite a while, but this is what I use throughout the summer months when I go wild camping in the Lake District, the type of video. So the rucksack that I use, you probably guessed it already, is the Osprey Exos 48. I did have the older version, the black and orange one. I had that for quite a few years and it started to show its age. It started to wear around the bottom and stuff. So Osprey bought this one out around about 2.5 years ago, and yeah, I bought one and it's been great, typical Osprey quality. They've put the hip belt pockets back on, which is a good upgrade, or they've just put them back on because a lot of people were asking for them. They do come in handy for putting little knickknacks and stuff in. It's got the trampoline suspension kind of backrest on it, so you don't get the sweaty back. It's a durable rucksack. It's made, you know, it is made for carrying loads of gear through the wilderness and all that type of stuff. So they are made quite, you know, quite well, quite durable. Big stretchy pocket on the back, which is usually I keep that free for putting my water in later on to carry to camp. And then you've got the two stretchy pockets either side, water bottle in one, and then I put my trekking poles and tent pole in the other side. I always tend to load my rucksacks exactly the same way, so that I know where everything is and everything just fits in when you're sort of packing up in the morning. So we'll get the trekking poles out of the way, so I don't stab myself with them. Some of the items in here, if you watch my winter loadout video, you will see again, because I do use some items all year round, not just in winter. So these are one of those items, which are the Lecky Mackaloo trekking poles, hiking poles, whatever you want to call them. I've had these for a few years now and they're still going strong. Original carbide tips. The clamps on them are original, which is usually the weakest point on cheaper hiking poles. They weren't cheap when I bought them, but as you can see, that, you know, they're still going strong. Sort of 4.5, 5 years later, they're still going strong. I tend to use them more through winter, but I will take them in summer. Sometimes on my summer videos you might just see them sticking out my rucksack and I might not actually use them, but I always take them with me. I'll leave my tent pole for later when I get the tent out, which will make more sense. So if you was to see me in the Lake District when I wasn't filming, this is kind of how my rucksack would look. So one of the items you won't see, because I'm usually filming with it, is my DJI Action 4. So I do probably, that's just a little lens cover. I do probably about 90–80% of my filming. I still do some filming on my iPhone 15 Pro. If I do a time lapse, or sometimes when I'm filming in the tent and I'm struggling for space, I will use my iPhone to record on. So it's connected to a UU rig selfie stick, which also turns into a tripod. So it's great for getting the walk by shots, or you get like the mega sort of when I hold the camera away from me, sort of walking shots and stuff. AliExpress, I think it was about 15 quid, so it wasn't great. The selfie stick, that is, not the camera. But yeah, the camera's been absolutely great. Very simple, very easy to use. Battery life on it is brilliant. And with the wind buff, it just reduces that wind noise. You can still hear a bit of wind noise, but yeah, it does reduce it by far. At a later date, I'll probably get the mic, the DJI mic, to go with it. But for now, that'll suffice. Rain cover, which doesn't come with the rucksack, you have to buy it as an extra. This is a medium size. So if you're looking at getting the rucksack cover for the 48 litre, you need the medium size. It does have clips on it like buckles, so it actually buckles through the straps, and then it elasticates around the bottom as well, so it's not coming off. But like I say, you do have to buy it as an extra. Nalgene bottle, I'm sure we've all seen one of them, 500ml. It's obviously empty at the moment. I did weigh the rucksack before I started this loadout, and it was coming in at 9.88. Now my water bottle's empty, as you've seen. I've not got the correct amount of food that I would normally take, so there's less weight there. And I've not got a cheeky can of cider or beer that I usually take, so there's less weight there. So my rucksack in summer roughly weighs around about 11 kilos, maybe just a touch over. I'm not an ultralight backpacker, I'm not even a lightweight backpacker, so some of you may find that quite heavy, some of you may find it not heavy at all. For me, it's manageable, it's fine, it's absolutely fine. For me, it feels lightweight compared to my winter rucksack, which is sort of 17, 18 kilos. So to drop down to 11 kilos, yeah, it just feels so much, you know, so much lighter. But I know some of you ultralight backpackers are down to sort of 6, 5 kilos. I don't know how you do it, but yeah, I'm nowhere near that weight. So in the hip pocket, continuing with water, so I always take some hydration tablets, just to replace salt and everything if you're sweating and that, and it also flavours the water. They're the high 5 ones, but there's loads of different brands on the market. Because you're dipping your hands in water and streams and stuff, I always take a little bottle of hand sanitizer. And then in the other pocket, lip balm. I get dried lips, so I always carry lip balm with me. And then just a cheap pair of sunglasses, which are actually polarised ones. You'll probably see me wearing these quite a bit in summer. £1.50 off AliExpress. You don't have to spend a fortune on everything. I think I bought 2 or 3 pairs in different colours, and I seem to wear these all the time. They're really good as well. Yeah, they're brilliant. So, take a look in the top. I always take a buff with me, even in winter. In winter I tend to wear it around my neck so it keeps the heat in, and then in summer I wear it around my wrist. You can dip them in streams, put it on your head, cool yourself down a bit. They're just handy to have and cost not a lot of money. This is my little reading glasses, just a little pouch that I keep them in, just a cheap pair of reading glasses for when I get to camp or if I need to check the map or anything like that. I always keep them in the top so I don't know where they are. Even in summer I always take a pair of gloves. You will have seen these on the winter loadout if you've watched that video. These are extremities. I think I call them sticky icky gloves, but they're actually called sticky liner gloves, so they are actually a liner glove. So I can wear these under my mittens in winter and they're absolutely brilliant. But in summer, if it's like a cold morning and you just want to take the chill off your hands, these are just brilliant. And they're quite a tight fit, so they've got really good dexterity on them. So you can, you know, buckle your rucksack up and you know, you've got good feeling in your fingers with them. They've got like a sticky palm on them. So yeah, they are really good gloves. And I don't think they were much money, I think they were about 15 quid. I mean, sometimes in summer I'll probably not wear them, but it's best to have something at least to take the chill off your hands. These are my waterproof trousers, so these are the Berghaus Blacklight. Again, you'll have these are what I wear in winter as well, so I wear these all year round. They've got full length zips all the way to the top, so you can zip them right the way up. You can put them on without having to take your boots off, or if you're getting a bit hot, you can pull the zip down and you can vent them. Really good trousers then, quite popular. And then my waterproof jacket, I've had this for years. This will be discontinued, I know it will. It's the Berghaus, I think it's called the Storm jacket. It was a genuine Go Outdoors bargain. They were clearing them out, but they only had blue, like a really dark blue colour. It wasn't a great colour. And I am partial to a bit of orange. And when I went in the store, this was right at the back, and they sold it me for 40 quid. So I've washed it loads of times, and none of the tapings come undone or anything. It's been a brilliant jacket, and it was at a bargain price. I can't remember what they were. I think they were just over 100 quid. Yeah, and I got it for 40 quid. It's packable, it's lightweight. Yeah, you'll see me a lot in that in the summer, if it's raining obviously. So that's everything in the top. So we'll take a look at the front. Check this out. You see, like a seat pad. Again, I carry this all year round. Keeps your backside off cold rocks and things like that, and I'll use it for kneeling on and stuff when I'm packing the tent away, or I'll have it in the porch with me or something like that. It's called Coyote Grey, but it's more like a sand colour, so it kind of matches my tent, which is one of the reasons why I bought that colour. I think they do them in yellow and blue. The yellow's more popular. But yeah, they're quite dear for what they are. You can buy the Chinese ones for a couple of quid. I think these are about 15. But this has lasted a couple of years, whereas the Chinese ones don't seem to last the summer. Sawyer water pouches, I always take 2 with me. Sometimes I'll take 3. If I'm going for 2 nights, I'll take 3, I'll take a spare. So I always keep them in the front part, like the rear pouch if you will, and then when they're full of water, they'll go in there full of water. Sponge in a bag, just for drying your tent off in the morning. Even in summer you'll get condensation on the outside of the tent. So I just like to give it a bit of a sponge off, get rid of some of the water, and then just keep it in a bag so it doesn't wet, wet your rucksack and stuff. I take 2 selfie sticks, so that's the one obviously for filming, and then this is for when I'm filming inside the tent. It's a UU rig one. Again, it was off AliExpress. I think it was a tenner or something like that. It wasn't much money. Doesn't extend very far, but it's just the right size for in the porch of the tent. And I can put the camera on it, and it's also got the little cold shoe for putting the light on, which I'll show you in a bit. That's everything in there. Quick look in the brain part. On this rucksack, the brain doesn't really come off. It does if you want to undo all this sort of buckle type thing, but on the old Exos it just unclips, which was a lot easier. But yeah, Osprey decided to make this a bit harder to take off, so I never take it off. It's got the car key holder, but I don't use it, to be honest. So this is kind of my emergency bivvy first aid kit, and I keep my trowel, which is deuce of spades. I've never actually used it, but it's there if I need it. I'm sure we all know why we take one of them. Whistle, I need to call anyone or get anyone's attention. So the first aid kit is a bit personal, it depends on what you want to take. In here there's kind of a few other bits and bobs. So I've got roll of plaster, I've got small plasters, ibuprofen, paracetamol, spare lighter, insect bites, which I have used quite a few times through the summer months. Tick tweezers, which I think are a must in this day and age now in the UK. Seems to be ticks everywhere. A spare Sawyer bottle top, because I did actually lose one along quite a few years ago now. it actually went in between some rocks. I couldn't get to it and I lost the top. And then inside it is also a spare O-ring for my Sawyer filter, which I'll show you in a bit. And then the inevitable earplugs if it's windy, which it usually is. And then these are the little expandable towels. They go to about so big. You just put them in some water and they expand. Again, AliExpress, I think they're a couple of quid for like 50 or something. And then the rest of it is just plasters, dressings, that, you know, that type of stuff. Bits and bobs in there. And then this is it's one of those foiled bivvy type things, Life Adventures. So it's quite a decent one. You can get like cheap Chinese ones that are quite thin, but this is quite a decent one. I won't get it out of the bag because it's quite, I'm sure you've seen them all before. Like an orange colour and then foil on the inside. You never know, you may come across someone who's been led there for hours. You know, when they're getting cold, they might have injured themselves. So if you can, you know, get them in one of them, you know, you could save their lives. And then the other thing I take is hand warmers. Even in summer, it can be pretty cold up on the mountains. Or again, if you come across someone, crack a few of them open and put them in that bivvy. You know, you can warm them up, sort of thing. So that's that. I also take a towel. This is a little towel from Decathlon. Mopping anything up. If you spill any water in the tent, or drying the tent off on the inside or anything like that, or the porch, it just comes in handy. It weighs nothing. And then this is my water filter, which is the Sawyer Squeeze. I used to have the Sawyer Mini, which I persevered with for a few years, and then I ended up biting the bullet and I bought the Sawyer Squeeze, and it's just night and day difference. The water flow on it's brilliant. You can put like a sports bottle top on it if you wanted to, but that's just the standard one it comes with. At this end, it comes like that, open, but I got this off a lad on eBay that was 3D printing them and put a rubber O-ring on it. It just stops the water coming back out of it, because when you filtered water, you're left with a little bit of water in it, and it just tends to run out. So I just put that on there, stop the water, and then it just lives in this little bag, which is from Treadlight, which is a cottage company over here in the UK. I've got a few bits and bobs of this stuff. So yeah, good water filter that. I know there's various ones on the market and stuff, but yeah, I do like the Sawyer filters. So we'll get inside. So on top, this is just a thin hoodie. It's actually an Alpkit one. And it's Griffin, it's called, Alpkit Griffin hoodie. It's just a basic thin hoodie, just to take the chill off. I might wear it in the evening underneath my down jacket or something. I've recently done the Cumbria Way. There's a couple of videos on there of me doing it, and I wore this quite a lot actually. It was just cold during the day or in the morning when you set off walking. I'd just put this on until I generated a bit of heat and then take it off. It doesn't weigh that much. And then this is my most favourite jacket ever. It's just, I absolutely love this jacket. Sadly, Montane has discontinued it now. It's called the Alpine Edge Windbreaker. It's very thin, it's very lightweight, but if the wind picks up, you put this on and it's just like someone closing a window. It's unbelievable how it works. It's just an amazing jacket. You'll see me in this a lot through winter, through summer. It's got a elasticated hood and it's got like a wire thing across the top, so you can sit it across the front of your baseball cap. So if the wind's pounding on the side of your face and your ears and stuff, it just cuts the wind out. Absolutely love this jacket. It weighs nothing. It packs down really small. But yeah, sadly Montane have discontinued it. Be absolutely gutted if I lost that or it got damaged. So next up is my tent. So the tent that I generally use in summer is my Hilleberg Akto. This will normally be in a dry bag and a bit more compacted down, but I've just left it in its original stuff for now. I know there's a lot of speculation about Hilleberg tents, that they're overpriced, they're overkill, they're not worth the money, and you know, etc, etc, but they are brilliant tents. I know they're expensive, I know they're hard to get hold of, but they're absolutely brilliant. And in summer, I've, you know, been on mountains in the Lake District in summer, and the weather's turned, and I've been so glad I've been in this tent. It's just a brilliant tent. It weighs just under 2 kilos, so it's not the lightest, but they're just so well made. And I've had it must be getting on for 5-ish years now. I've had this tent. It was one of the first Hilleberg tents I ever bought, and yeah, I've no desire to sell it or part with it. I just love it. It pitches very quickly. I've never had any problems with it. I know some people say that they've leaked above the like the portrait bit above the front door. I've never had any leakages on mine, so yeah, I absolutely love that tent. Which brings me on to the poles. So I always clip the poles with a little carabiner, just as a bit of reassurance. You wouldn't want to get to camp or back to the car and your poles just fell off. I always put my poles on the side, so regardless of what scent I take, I always put them on the outside in the bag. So it's a single pole scent, and it normally comes with a 9mm gold coloured pole, but I've upgraded to a 10mm one, which is off Hilleberg's black label. So it's 297 centimetres if you've got an Akto and you're thinking of upgrading the pole. And this pole is actually off the Hilleberg Thermarest 2, which is another Hilleberg tent I've got. So if you order a pole for that tent, it fits the Akto. It's the exact same size as the standard Akto, but it's obviously slightly thicker, and it just makes the tent even more stronger. And the weight difference is about 50 grams. So the only problem is the problem you have with the tents, you have with the poles, is getting hold of them. Hilleberg just don't seem to produce enough, but in that same, you know, it makes the tents hold the value. I know people who've bought a Hilleberg tent, had it for 2 years and sold it for pretty much what they paid for it, because you just can't get hold of them. Same with the poles. And then the tent pegs that I use in summer, or probably spring to autumn, I won't use them in winter, especially if the ground's frozen, is the 9-inch Easterns. Absolutely brilliant tent peg, and they work really well in the Lake District, especially if you've got that sort of tuffety grass where it's quite bumpy grass. They just penetrate the ground really well. And the Akto has like metal rings in the corners, and these just pin it down really, really well. But they're not cheap. I think I paid about 20 quid for 4, and I think they're about £25 now for 4. So yeah, they're stupid how much money they are, but 15 grams, 9 inches long, and I've had these a couple of years now, and yeah, absolutely brilliant. When you pull them out of the ground, you don't get all that mud in the grooves like you do on the Y pegs that you then have to scrape out. They either come out of the ground clean, or you just wipe them on a bit of grass, and yeah, they're brand new again. Again, tread light bag. Not too sure if he still sells these, but and in there as well is a spare pole sleeve if ever needed it, which I haven't so far. So my food pouch, again, is tread light. This is called the Weekender Plus, so it's slightly deeper than the standard Weekender if you've looked on his website. I've not really got much food in here, so I'd obviously, if I was going wild camping, I'd take a lot more food, snacks and things like that. So this is my heat pouch that you might have seen me use if you've watched a couple of my videos. You basically put your dried meal in it. obviously you open your dried meal, you pour your hot water in, and then you close it up like you would close a dry bag. And it's an insulated bag, so it just keeps the heat whilst your meal rehydrates. It's got a flat bottom on it, so you can just stand it, you know, on the bottom of your tent or something like that. It's not going to fall over. I got it off Lucy Quinton, so Quinton Craft is the name of her website. I'll put a link to her website in the description. She just makes bits and bobs. Just a small sort of cottage company over here in the UK. I've had this for probably about 2 years now. I've certainly had it for 2 winters, and it's brilliant. In summer it insulates your hands from the hot water when you're holding, you know, your food, and in winter it obviously keeps the water warm whilst your meal rehydrates. So yeah, it's really good. The meals that I use are generally some sweet meals. The number and the letter is the line that you have to fill and how much water to put in, because they write it on the back in such tiny writing. So for ease, I just write it on the front before I go, or when I buy a load of them, I'll just write it on. One thing I do take with me is a cup of soup. Usually they're a foiled lined bag, so if you tear the top off carefully and pour water in, the water won't come out of the foiled bag inside. And then all I do is I reseal it, put it in my heat pouch and leave it 5 minutes, and then you've got like a little snack meal to either have at lunch, or when you get to camp and you're not ready for your sort of your main meal, you can have just a little snack. And they're like 40p or something from Aldi or supermarkets. And then this is just like my teas and coffees. I do like my options, hot chocolate. And then I'll just have a Nescafe 2-in-1. And then I get these lattes, caramel lattes from Aldi. I think they're like £1 for 8 or something. Just if you want a brew in the evening or something like that. Just take a couple of them. And then my spoon is a Tokes one, long handled. It's just a spoon. I know most people have a spork, but what I tend to find when I did have a spork, I'm not cooking anything that I need a fork to stab into, and when you're scraping up the side of the bag, you end up with grooves of food where the fork's missing. So I just use a spoon. And if you're going to get one, get the polished bowl, because this sandblasted bit, if it's sandblasted there in your mouth, it's not a great taste. And then these are good, but they're expensive. I think they're like 17 quid or something stupid. MSR gas canister holder, but they're just a lot longer than standard ones, so you've no chance of your pot falling over in your porch or wherever you put your gas canister in your stove. But yeah, 17 quid I think they are. They're not worth that, but they are worth it for using one, you know. And then other food, I just generally take like a couple of brioches, or, you know, a couple of bags of Haribos, or maybe a pack of biscuits, you know, small pack of biscuits, something like that. Just bits and bobs, really. I think you eat half the time out of boredom. You know, when you get to camp, there's not much to do, so you're kind of nibbling on stuff. I might buy like a bag of trail mix or something like that. So this is my little cook set, if you can call it a cook set. All I do is just boil water with it. Sea to Summit mug. Sure you've all seen one of them. I've had that years. Still going. So this is the 650. They did discontinue it, and then I noticed they're redoing it again, but I don't know if it's actually, you know, exact same size. It might be taller and narrower, or, you know, wider and shorter, but my cook set fits in it really well. So, gas canister fits in it, which then fits onto this. Just quickly show you. it gives it a wider foot. And then my stove is probably the most simplest stove out there, but it just works. It's the little MSR pocket rocket. I think it's a great stove, I really do. I had one for a couple of years and sold it, and I bought something else and I regretted selling it. So I sold the one that I bought, I can't remember what it was, and I bought another one back. It doesn't have a regulator on it, there's no piezo on it. It's not the best in the wind, but through the summer months, it's great. If you want it to be picky, it is a little bit noisy. It does sound like a rocket, hence the name Pocket Rocket. But they used to be about 30 quid. I think they're about 40 quid now. Just a great little simple stove to boil water. It just works. And then to ignite it, I've got the MSR piezo igniter. And then I also carry a very tiny little pocket knife that's just got scissors, a little knife on it, tweezers and a toothpick, and that's it. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I probably use the toothpick more and the scissors to open packets or whatever. It's just a very tiny little knife. I'm not whittling wood. I'm not bushcrafting. I don't need a big knife. I don't really need a knife, but I just have that just in case I need to open something or... So, clothing wise, I don't really take much. I just take something to sleep in really. All my dry bags are Alpkit, by the way. I bought them as a set. So I always take a spare pair of socks. These are Darn Tough, which I think are brilliant socks. Absolutely brilliant. I've got a couple of pairs of these. Never had a blister since I've been wearing these. Normally wear them with my boots. They're just really comfortable, brilliant socks. Are they worth the money? You don't get blisters, suppose they are, but yeah, really good socks. Beanie hat for winter, for evening time. Oh, one same one. I'll usually wear that throughout the night as well. And then these are what I sleep in. They're just thin merino wool top and bottoms. These are actually the Aldi ones. I bought them X amount of years ago. Can't even remember when I got them. They weren't much money at the time. I think they're about 30 quid for the top and the bottoms. I've got bits of wool, fluff on them. Goose down probably. And these are just what I sleep in summer. I'll probably wear these in spring and autumn as well, just depending on the temperatures. But they've been absolutely brilliant. They wash really well. I think the labels come off this one now, but yeah, just a cheap merino wool. They only seem to sell them in Aldi around the October time, and they usually sell out quite quickly because everyone knows about them. I don't know how much they are now, but I'm pretty certain I paid £15 for the top and £15 for the bottom. Compared to me Alklima ones that I wear in winter, you know, the price wise, they're an absolute bargain. So I always take a down jacket because it does get cold in the evening. And like I say, I'm a bit partial to orange. So this is my Rav down jacket, which is the microlight. It's just warm enough for kind of springtime, autumnish. Definitely in summer with the hood and the peak and everything. Doesn't weigh a lot. I think it's about 360 grams or something like that. You will see me the odd time in a green Alpkit one that hasn't got a hood. I wore that on the Cumbria way, so, but it's only 550 fill. So in the mountains it's got to be quite warm in the evening for me to wear that one. But usually through summerish, spring, autumn time, I'll wear the wrap one. So this is my electrics bag. Bit of weight in this. So I've got the typical flex tail pump light combo. It's the original one. The battery is actually dying on it a bit. I probably just get like a few hours of torch out of it once I've pumped the mat up. So I do need to look at replacing this, because you can't replace the batteries in them. Or not that I know of anyway. So, and I think there's this is like the original version that they did. So I've had this probably 3 years or something. So yeah, the battery's not as good as it was. So that's probably something I'll replace before we get into the next winter. Sometimes I don't always take it, but I sometimes take a little radio. So just a little pocket digital radio. This is a little Goodman's one. I think I said before, if I camp in the Northern Lakes, I get like Scottish channels. And if I camp in the Southern Lakes, I get like Welsh channels. So I usually tend to go to the north. Head torch and cables and stuff in this bag. Again, tread light again. I know I keep saying it, but headphones, so if I'm watching a movie or something. And then just random cables for charging my phone, batteries for the camera, my watch, etc, etc. Just different ones. And then my head torch is a Petzl Alpkit 450 it's called. Really good head torch, really lightweight. I think it only weighs about 70 grams. And it's got the Petzl battery, rechargeable battery in it. Yeah, it's good head torch, that. And then to go with my filming stuff, I won't turn it on because it'll blind you. That clips onto the selfie stick cold tube that was on about. So when I'm filming at night, or if I'm out the tent and it's dark, I'll use this light. I think it's a Ulancy one. Again, AliExpress. And then this is my battery pack and battery packs. So battery pack is kind of my newest purchase actually. I bought it at the beginning of the year. It's the Nightcore Gen 2 MB 10,000 it is. Really lightweight, 150 grams. It's got USB and a USB-C. So you can charge off it, so I can charge my phone off that one. It's also got, if you press and hold the button on it, like a low charge mode for charging like AirPods and things like that. But yeah, I've been really impressed with this. 10,000 milliamp, it easily lasts a weekend, easily. I actually took this on the Cumbria Way and it lasted 4 days on the Cumbria Way, couldn't believe it. But yeah, really good. Not cheap, you know, but yeah, I have been impressed with that. I might do a separate review on this actually, because there's not much info on YouTube about them. And then this is my battery pack for camera, for the DJI. So it's a charge case basically. So 3 batteries in there, and there's little slots at the top to put the SD cards. So red is dead, orange is needs charging, green is go. You charge all 3 batteries. I take 4 batteries with me and easily last a weekend, easily. Even in the colder, like winter months and stuff. And then the mat I use is a Thermarest X Lite, and this is the NXT. So this is fairly new as well. My old Thermarest X Lite matte, it's still going, I've still got it, but it's a few years old, so I decided last year to upgrade it to the newer NXT ranges, as Thermarest are calling it. So this is the wide version, so it's 64 inches wide at the widest point, and the benefit of that is when you're led on your back, on the regular one, your elbows will be on the floor of the tent, whereas on the wide, they're on the mat. So if you led back watching a movie or whatever, you're completely off the ground. Might be not a deal breaker for anyone, but in colder, you know, when it gets cold in the evening and stuff, your floor of the tent is cold, your elbows are on it, and it's, you know. Got the bag that I always take with me, just in case that pump fails, to pump it up. I won't get it out, because I'm pretty sure you'll have all seen them. But it's got like the wingy type valve on it, whereas the older mat I've got is just like a screw thing. But yeah, I've been really impressed with this. It's 4.5 on the R value, so it is pretty warm, and I will use it in spring right through to autumn. I have actually found that in summer, on like a warm evening, it actually is too warm. So I've ended up just sleeping on it with my sleeping bag over me. So I have found that the R rating actually, you know, it does make it a bit too warm. But yeah, 440 grams is the weight of it, so it's not terribly heavy. But yeah, I do like the Thermarest stuff, and they come with a lifetime guarantee as well. And I do know people that have had them for 10 years and they've failed, and Thermarest have just replaced them. But you're obviously paying a premium for that. Wash kit, pretty basic. I usually only go for one night, so sun cream, don't really use it that often. I think the last time I used it was on the Scarfell video, where it was hot. So, and then pick up a pack of wet wipes, so I can have a bit of a wet wipe wash at night. Tissues, the usual sort of stuff really. Toothbrush and a little toothpaste. And then more of the expanding cloth type things. And then I also take these, the little soap leaves. Can't get into it. They're very, very thin. You just put one on the palm of your hand with a few sprinkles of water, and they just dissolve into soap, so you can just wash your hands. So yeah, they're quite useful. And again, they don't weigh much. So I don't have to get out of the tent in the middle of the night, especially in winter. It's handy, it extends. Sure, we've all got something that we use. I know some people use Nalgene bottles or cheap Nalgene bottles. So I'll leave that out of the way. So that's the rucksack empty. The sleeping bag and my pillow is all that's left. So the pillow you will have seen if you've watched my winter loadout video, because this is something I don't change. It's the Nemo Philo pillow. I've had various pillows over the years, Trekology ones and Alpkit ones and Decathlon ones, and this is probably the closest to a pillow you'd have at home. I don't put much air in it, I don't want it too hard. It's not the biggest, but it works. Yeah, I've had that. I think I bought that not last year, the year before, 2 years maybe. I might have had this. Again, stupidly expensive, but it's putting the price on a good night's sleep, and it doesn't weigh a lot. So my sleeping bag for summer is another Alpkit bag. So it's the Alpkit Pipe Dream 400. It's quite a common bag. It's kind of Alpkit's signature bag. It's a goose down bag. It's got a really, really soft feel to it. It's really comfortable to lie in. I don't know if you can see, but the actual Alpkit logo's fading off it now. I've had it that long. I'd probably say it's a 350 now, or 360. It's not a 400 because it's probably lost that much goose feathers over the years that it's probably not a 400 anymore. It's not the best colour for a sleeping bag, blue, because obviously you think of blue as cold, you know. But it is a nice comfy bag. Alpkit rate it, comfort rating, to -6, but there's absolutely no way. I don't know if they've actually changed that now on the website, but if you look at the reviews, you know, people that have had it or have got it have said what I would say. It's good to about 0 degrees on a mountain in summer. I personally, if the temperatures are going to drop any lower than sort of 1 or 2 degrees, I'll take a different bag with me. I won't take this. I have another Alpkit one, the Sky High 700, the old version, the red one, so you may see that on a couple of my videos, and I'll tend to use that bag in spring and autumn. It's not good enough for winter, but it's too hot for summer, so I'll use it, like I say, in spring and autumn. But if I do a camp in summer and I look at the temperature gauge, the temperature on the weather forecast, and it's gonna dip to about like 1 degree above freezing, I'll take that bag. I won't take this one. This, in my opinion, comfort rating for me on a mountain in the Lake District, about 2 degrees, 1 degree, 2 degree-ish. There's no way, -6, no way at all. But it has been a good bag. It does lose, out of all my bags, this one does lose the most feathers. Especially when you're wearing merino wool and you get out in the morning, you look like you've done a double shift in a chicken plucking factory or something. But yeah, it is a good bag. So that's it. So that is basically everything I take, apart from a can of beer. That's the only thing really that's not here. Or a can of cider I usually take as well, and I probably take a little bit more food, like I've already said. So yeah, this is what I basically take with me from roughly sort of Aprilish time to around about early September, you know, in the Lake District. Like I say, if temperatures are going to dip slightly, I will swap the sleeping bag out, and I do have another stove, the MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe, that has a regulator on it. So if temperatures are going to drop slightly to around 0 degrees, I'll take that stove rather than the Pocket Rocket, because the regulator on the other stove, it just keeps the gas flowing. Whereas with that stove, the gas canister starts to freeze and stuff like that. So I hope some of that has been useful for you. Hope this gives you an insight as to what I take. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm hoping to be back out in the lakes. Probably it might be sort of middle of next month. We're currently in June. Sorry, we're currently in July. So hopefully I'm hoping to get out sort of middle of August. I usually have a lot going on throughout the summer months. If you watched my last video where I was on Coniston, I'm now volunteering on the Duke of Edinburgh scheme, so that's taking up quite a bit of my time. And the Lake District in summer is so busy. I do sort of try to stay away a little bit, because yeah, you struggle getting parts. There's just people everywhere. It's difficult to film. When you get to a summit, there's, you know, so many people there and everything. Yeah, so winter time is my time in the Lake District. That's when I love it the most. So thanks again for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.